Hello there. I'm continuing the Tower Deception series here with mostly just epics. I say mostly because we're not going to be able to keep this up long. I did run these stages with the alt, and, yeah. It, it gets a bit tricky, to say the least. So, we're still going to do what we got to do. And go as far as we can in this without using more than epics, but it gets complicated. Drop in Estrid to keep this guy blocked. Greed gaining us some extra time here. And we're going to drop in a Vortex here to heal them. And just normally barely get Wrath in time to block the poison guy here. It's a bit close. It's less than ideal, but it works out. Now we have a lane that can mostly, that can mostly cover pretty much everything here. We are going to drop in an extra Maul, and realistically just this is enough. We still have, more than enough room to drop in tanks, healers, pretty much whatever you want. In our case, we're just going to toss in a healer for the sake of it. Because we don't really need anything else at this point. And we can just fast forward. And we will kill pretty much everything coming our way. Now you could arguably toss in a cleanser to make the damage a little bit less widespread. You could toss in, again, tanks, better damage dealers in general. But this works. And for now, the poisons are just really a vague nuisance more than anything else. They do become a problem later on, but for now they're not. And pop an Estrid just to clear this pack up real quick, and a Maul to seal the deal. And that's stage 11 done. Again, I can't stress this possibly enough. Don't run this with epics. Everyone in this team, except maybe Estrid, can easily be replaced by virtually any legendary that's more or less the same class and does either AoE or single target like the epic in question. But yeah. Here, go into this with one of the best tactics that we could possibly do, which is Olague into Estrid.
Vengeful will drives me.
Which, once that's done, and we have a solid basis for damage, and as soon as we can, Estrid ultimate, we're going to pop in a hollow back here, so otherwise she will probably die. Once that's done, I think we're actually just going to keep that hollow there. We shouldn't need it. We shouldn't need damage immediately. Toss in our Maul back here. Ult with hollow so we can start feeding more rage into Estrid and Maul. And drop in a Greed. And at this point, it's become a kill zone, and anything coming towards us will just die. Now, if that wasn't enough, we're going to toss in a Vortex to make sure no one dies, but it's more than necessary, more than enough. So anything extra at this point is just free. And we're gonna pop Estrid ultimate to just absolutely massacre these guys. And just maul them for the sake of it, because I like that Fire Shark. Alright. That's 12 done. And we're gonna go into 13 here. And this is a roughly similar concept. Just double drop our fighters here. And then we're going to want to make sure that they actually stay alive. And then since we have flyers coming in from the top, we do need something to address that, so we're going to drop in our Maul. Pop our Hollow to get Maul's ultimate going. And as these guys come in, pop our Estrid, otherwise we will not have the block necessary to hold off. And to toss in our Greed. And now we're once more in the situation as before, right? We have a kill zone set up. Everything coming into this area is just going to get absolutely annihilated. Toss in a Vortex for the sake of it. And then we still have, 2 slots, 2 deploys available that we could use if we needed to or wanted to, which we don't. Because this is more than enough. And those are also, 2 slots that would allow you to add more things into here if your gear and or champion/awakenings are lacking. And also, once more, running a cleansing healer might be in your interest here if this damage started to become an issue. It's not for us, but it could be. Estrid ultimate just to clean up this whole mess here. And then this is just cleaned up on its own. Once more, no real changes to the roster on stage 14. We are going to drop in our Estrid. Drop in, I guess, a Hollow just to be able to cover that other side there as well. Drop in our Rork to cover the other side. And here there's one coming in from the side here, so we will drop in our Wrath.
My enemy is destiny itself.
I don't think we need to drop in a healer yet, so instead we're going to drop in some damage to try to help the middle lane. Because Rork is cute, but he doesn't do that much damage on his own. Out of his ultimate, at least. He does do decent with his ultimate running, but we need to plus our Vortex here, because Wrath is starting to almost die. Here, we're going to pop Estrid ultimate, Hollow ultimate, drop our Olague in front of Rork, so Rork is no longer suffering such misery to kill through stuff quick enough. To be fair, we probably should have held the Estrid ultimate, but hey.
Torment awaits.
We still have the room to drop either a Baron or a Neona. In this case, we're probably going to drop in a Baron, just to make this a bit of a safer run. As we have more incoming here, we're going to pop Rork ultimate, giving him a little bit extra range, more importantly some AoE so we can hit everyone here. Maul would have been a good option, Iona would have been a good option. They all kind of work, just so long as you do enough damage to clear out the middle area. Ideally, I just wouldn't have used Estrid's ult early, but I did. So here we are. And there we go. That's 14 down. Now, here, we're going to have to change some things.
We must pull back.
So sorry, we are going to need those.
Wise choice.
Now, the important part here is going to be the 2 epic cleansers. Without those 2, it's going to be excessively complicated to get anything done. On top of that, we are going to want our Wrath, our Rork, toss in our good buddy Maul, and the final piece of this puzzle is our dear friend Liam. Now, there is one minor problem here. We need a ridiculous amount of rage regen and attack speed on our healers. The reason for this is because if you do not, you will simply run into a wall where you will just not have the cleansings ready in time. Now, we need attack speed as a sub, so we're going to go with this one. This is easily circumvented if you have Elowyn, because she will give rage regen to everyone on the map. Now, if you're not running Elowyn, it becomes a bit of an issue. That being said, it is still more than possible, because, well, I'm going to do it right now, but it is very close. And we are going to run a full setup in Vig here. We're going to do rage regen and attack speed. I think we can only really do Light's Grace with those 2 criterias. We're stealing Hollow's chest piece. Right. Let's just do attack speed and take this one. Now we're at 153%. Like, we're at some pretty... This is some good regen gear. Nissandei needs it the most. Midan can get away with a bit less because she has a... I think the costs are drastically different. This is a 1,000, and if we go to Nissandei, it's like 1,400, 1,100. But in any case, Midan is much more flexible in terms of rage regeneration and speed. I wonder, do I have one with HP mains? I think I have to go into Glacier to actually get this, but that's okay. We can do that. Liam is running our semi-good one. Okay. Change of plans. Let's take some Mana Spring. Right, and even if this isn't HP main, as long as it has an HP sub, we should be fine. Brilliant, it does not. Let's drop the Rage Regen then. And just go straight to Mana Spring. Yeah, that should do the trick. And then here, we're going to want at least HP, and we have one right here. Alright, and once more, we're looking for speed and Rage Regen. Probably not going to have that many pieces that actually fit. Yeah, that's what I thought. In which case we will go for the one that gives us more healing. Is that Tallulah? Do I have this equipped on Tallulah? Right. Well, we'll just do it like this then. Alright, now that we're done with the break here, we're going to get right into this. Now, I have to remember the run, because I did this yesterday, but I'm fairly certain that this starts with Olague, into Estrid. Should probably actually give her a damage artifact for this one. Ult with Estrid, so she just clears house. And drop in our Nissandei. And we can kind of ignore this Elowyn for now. She has quite a few annoying abilities, but nothing that is impossible to deal with. Now, we're going to drop our Hollow in on the left side. Cleanse everyone from the stacks. Pop a Maul ultimate. Just before the healing goes out. And she'll cast the Spectral Harvest, which is supremely annoying because if you are ever at 4 or 5 stacks, your units will probably die. Which, for very obvious reasons, we do not want. Ult with Hollow. Drop in our Wrath. And Elowyn's going to start coming towards us here. We're going to ult here with Maul to try to kill that one that's low life before the evolution happens. Because now the evolution occurred and they're, you know, have higher HP. And we need Rork and Midan over here. Just to tempo Elowyn a bit. We're going to pop Estrid's ultimate, cleanse with Nissandei, and ult with Maul just to finish these off before the Nature's Embrace goes off. We didn't even need to, but still, it's good that we did. And we continue. And it's basically going to be a lot of repetition of pretty much exactly this. We're going to build up stacks on people. It's probably a good idea to use Midan to cleanse now, because she is not buffed by Hollow. Again, right, if you have Elowyn, most of this becomes trivial. It's just that since we don't have Elowyn, we have to build this stacking of Rage Regen and speed on our healers to actually make it through. Here we're at 3 stacks. Nissandei has her ultimate. We're going to cleanse. Nature's Embrace actually went to the middle. That's great, because we can peacefully clear out over here. Spectral Harvest is going out. That's fine, because no one should die from this. Rork is taking a lot of damage, but he's going to get healed. Let's pop his ultimate just to be sure he does not die. And cleanse with Midan.
I like you.
Ult with Estrid.
This doll is
Ult with Hollow and ult with Maul. To try to kill everything. On the Olague side of things before they get healed. Because then it will start becoming insufferable. Ult with Nissandei again. Rork will very likely die here. Nope. Okay, he's still alive. This is actually incredibly good. We're at 34 out of 37 here, so we can recall most of this side. They're no longer really required to get anything done.
where am I needed?
And we can drop a Greed here to try to clear this stack of mobs. And while we're at it, we will drop a Liam right there to get the damage started proper on the boss.
My enemy is
Hollow will do her thing. Rork will use his ultimate just because it's right there, it's available, why not use it? And once all these mobs are dead, besides Elowyn and her little buddy there, alright, we can recall Nissandei, we can recall Greed, recall Wrath, and recall Hollow, because they're all
doll needs repairs.
positioned in a way that doesn't help us. This is fine.
The light
It's you know what, we're just gonna recall everyone. Olague is getting ready. We're just gonna fast forward and wait. And the name of the game here is really just gonna be, I think we can do it like that. Yes, we can. So we could, you know, we could stack here and kill her, but then we would have to deal with the cleanses, and I don't really want to have to deal with that at this point. So, instead, we're going to wait until our healers are back in. Alright, we're going to drop a Wrath right here, we're going to drop an Estrid right here.
The will drives me
We are going to drop Nissandei there.
to destruction.
Hollow way back here.
Doll is ready.
Liam,
Time they learn.
Greed, Maul, and Midan. And then we just kind of wail on the boss and hope that she peacefully dies. And there is no more any poison being applied, so, you know, whatever she does is kind of irrelevant. Now we can just ult away and kill the boss. Slowly but surely.
Torment awaits.
Maul,
Torment awaits.
and really that's just it.
Destiny.
And again, for all of this, if you have
Blessings upon you, my child.
if you have semi-decent units and you're not just running epics because you're a content creator with nothing better to do with your time, this becomes massively easier. Because I'm not gonna lie, Maul is a mediocre AoE damage dealer. Greed is, well, Greed. Running literally any AoE mage besides Greed that's legendary will do you much better. Hell, even Zealous probably does better than Greed, to be fair. But, yeah. Like, the stage, you do need to really abuse Rage Regen and Speed on your two healers if you do not have Elowyn. That's really just the complicated part. If you have Elowyn, just toss Elowyn with either of those two and it'll work out fine. So we can take that, and now we have Hidden Chamber 3. Now, I spent a long time on Hidden Chamber 3. And this was running Midan. So, the team that I spent a lot of time actually trying to do this with was... Where is she? Or she doesn't. It doesn't matter for this. Actually, I will need the gear, so it does kind of matter. Let's just swap her gear with, say, I don't know, Brock gear. There we go. Give me that Guardian. Give her a Bastion ring. Here, Steel Constances. Not like she uses it much. Was these two for... Okay, let's look at the map here. For the left lane, there was Estrid and... I'm forgetting her name. How am I forgetting her name? Her. Isolde. Estrid and Isolde were on the left lane. That actually stays, so that's great. And then I tried with both Nissandei and Midan on the center to cleanse the little pack of happy, jolly people we have here trying to kill everything. Now, there were essentially a few problems. The left side with Estrid was not getting her rage back in time for the waves coming in. And there's no good fix for that, because it's not like you can build up your rage on some of the mobs. They come in one big wave, you don't kill them all quick, you're dead. Because there's no healer over here. And the only way around that would have been moving a healer in this vicinity, which definitely would not have worked. Or using just a secondary heal like Ezreal, but then you don't have a cleanse for the center. The second problem I ran into was the damage here. And I was initially using Maul and Wrath for this center part. Maul was facing down to catch the flyers that spawn from here, and Wrath was intercepting both the healers and the big guys coming in to kill them. The problem being that to get the damage necessary to kill everything before Elowyn came in and started healing everyone, you just didn't have the damage. Like, we would have needed a ranged fighter here that actually worked to kill everything, which there really is none in the Epic class. An Arrogance or something probably would have worked, but that defeated kind of the purpose of it all. And the second problem was we couldn't freely use Maul's ultimate, because he needed his ultimate to kill the flyers here before they buzzed off and killed our left side. The final problem was whichever healer was here generally did not have time to, by the, I think, third cycle of needing to cleanse, the boss's ultimate was catching up. Now, I'm going to, for the sake of this, try it again, because I'm actually have much better gear here than I do on the alt. And maybe it will work. I highly doubt it. But it is a possibility. Now, we are going to do one thing here. Baron, where are you? There you are. We are going to do one thing. Instead of giving him a tank set, because this is something I actually am not sure that I fully tried, we are going to give him... Where is my GB2 Torador? There we go. We're going to give him a Wings of Grace set. And I'm just going to show you exactly what it looks like to see, you know, a bit why I was forced to go the quote-unquote bad way. Oops. So... Alright, we essentially did this. Had our Wrath here ready to go. Drop in our Nissandei. And, like, that's a lot of time to kill one unit. And here, as soon as we have Nissandei, we cleanse. And here, we can't use Maul. So if we use Maul, we lose what we need to kill these two flyers. Now, we can't drop in our Baron just yet, because we need our... Actually, I think we can. I think we can afford to do that. Give Wrath his Wings of Grace buff, and then ult with Maul here. And put Isolde up top. Now, as soon as we can with Estrid, and I do mean as soon as we can, we pop her ultimate. and go to town on killing these guys. She should be wearing an Eye of Sin, by the way. I messed up on my gearing and I didn't remove that from last time, but hey. Okay. Now, Nissandei is still nowhere near of having the rage necessary to cleanse, and I think we're going to need it pretty soon here. Spectral Harvest is going out, and we don't have what we need to cleanse. Now, it worked a little bit better with Midan, so I can demonstrate that one, but the reality was that then we didn't have the heals necessary to actually do anything. So, all of this to say that I had to forego what I set out to do to get Stage 3 cleared. We did that in two ways. We bring in Elowyn, and then we actually take the one real ranged marksman that works for Nightmare. We're just going to grab Immerit's set because who cares? And that's it. This makes it work because then we have all the pieces we need to... What is she running? Angel's Gaze, alright. And then, sorry, Estrid, real quick. I don't need you running your Lunacy anymore. I need you running your Eye of Sin. Okay. This is the best way that I actually found to do this because I also tried actually with... I tried with a... was it Nyx? I think I did try with a Nyx. And it did not work out either. Although that really would have been a good example on my main because... I mean, my Nyx is A5, so that doesn't help us at all. And I tried with... I also tried... I'm forgetting which marksman I tried to actually make work here. There was one. I'm drawing blanks. I have no idea. Point is, I tried with a marksman that just didn't work at all. And yeah, that it just... We're just lacking too many things without Elowyn and without, sadly, legendaries in general. And that's kind of the reality of the tower, apparently. Which, you know, it is, in a way, good, because we need difficulty. So I appreciate that it's here. It just bugs me for what I tried to set out to do. The added cheat / benefit of Elowyn is we can drop in... we have basically infinite cleanses. Just pop the cleanse as soon as you can. And B, we have a Wood Elf. And the Wood Elf is invaluable because we can heal either Wrath or if for some reason we needed Estrid, we could heal Estrid. We shouldn't need her though. Well, we shouldn't need to heal her, rather. But yeah, that's really... It bugged me a lot because I had to use Hatssut, although I think there was a Hatssut banner this weekend, but whatever. And I may try to revisit this to see what other options are available, AoE-wise, because I'm positive that if I expand my scope a bit and I pluck in a few legendaries. Oh, I tried with Volca too. Volca behind Wrath, just to give A little bit of healing and B some extra damage because she does hit the people who are stuck to Wrath, but it did not pan out either, sadly. So here we are with this comp, sadly. On the plus side, you know, it's not really relevant for right now, but it will be relevant for after. I did manage to go up to 19 with pretty much most of the epics. There was one stage where I had to pull in 2 legendary piercers. I think I used an A0... I believe I used an A0 Sargak and an A0 Allura on the alt. But I don't. I'll have to look at my roster here and see what's the weakest acceptable unit that would work for that stage. So chances are I'll actually have to push the. I'll have to push the stages up to 19 and or 20 on this account myself, instead of messing around with the alt and then doing it here. And we're going to nuke these two, because they deal a lot of damage. Healers get absolutely shredded.
Fear not,
Cleanse.
my friend.
I could have waited one more second, but oh well.
Mother's blessings upon you.
Die by my hand.
Fast forward.
Die by my hand.
Here we're going to pop Estrid. We're going to drop in our Wood Elf to make sure our Wrath is nice and healthy. And then we're going to cleanse them.
My friend.
We do have that Baron just sitting there, so 38 out of 45. I believe we can now pop Hatssut and basically just recall these two, because these are all the mobs that are going to exist on the map. Yeah, there we go. So at this point it's just a waiting game of killing the boss as soon as we can.
Mother's blessings.
Use the Wood Elf because why not?
Fear not,
Cleanse.
my friend.
Drop in our Estrid because she will do damage to the boss when she's ulting. Ult with Estrid. Cleanse everyone. And ult with Hatssut for the kill. And there we go. And I think we did everything. But it does bug me because there's essentially two meta units that I had to pull in for this. And I don't like doing that too much. Arguably, instead of Hatssut, there are a few options that could work. If you have a good Silas, I'm pretty sure he will work well. I want to say that Nyx probably will work. I just don't remember if I fully tested it or not. And they do stack a lot of... They do stack a lot of defense. So I'm not entirely sure how well that would work. But you essentially need some form of AoE, right? I'm pretty sure that if you just pulled in one of the good mages, that would work fine as well. I just don't necessarily want to do that. Because again, I'd run an aura, but an aura is A4 on my account, and that doesn't really help either. But yeah, that's, that is up to 15 and Hidden Chamber 3 on Tower of Deception. So cheers, and you have a nice one. I'm a moron. I forgot to actually put the gear showcase in the last video, so I guess I'll be editing this one into the video in question. Alright, Wrath was running Warlord and Soulbound Arcana. With his exclusive, you can probably run any damage artifact there and it'll be fine. I moved Greed's gear to Hatssut, so we'll take a look at that in a second, but Hollow is running Light's Grace and Invigoration with a Golden Scarab level 1. Estrid is running Wicked Vengeance, Soulbound Arcana, and an Eye of Sin. She's running some pretty disgusting gear. And most of these are at this point. Nissandei is running Invigoration, Light's Grace, and a Golden Scarab. Rork is running Soulbound Arcana and Warlord with some HP subs, along with the Key of the Forsaken. Olague is running Guardian, and I keep on forgetting the name, Astral Guardian, with a Bastion Ring. Midan is running a Mana Spring set with the Salvation left side and a bunch of Speed and Rage Regen. along with a Golden Scarab. Maul is running Soul Arcana, Wicked Vengeance, and a Sharpshooter Crest. Liam is running basically just a speed, Rage Regen, HP set with a Necro Chalice. And I was talking about Hatssut. She is running a Soul Arcana, Wicked Vengeance, and a Jewel's Gaze. This was also the set that I used on Greed for most of the run. And finally, Elowyn is running a Morale Lights Grace set. The Morale isn't really necessary. It's just what I had on her at the time. So, yeah, that once more, cheers, and you have a nice